Hi, it's Wendy, and yesterday I talked about why it's important to approach networking events sometimes without an agenda. I know it goes against the grain of everything that I've been telling you about being prepared and being planned, but however, I think it's important. So we talked yesterday about the reasons why it is important sometimes not to have a set agenda when you're out networking. Now, how do you do that? How do you get into that mind space if you're used to planning and preparing? Well, today I'm going to give you a few quick tips on how you can go about doing that. Now, the first one is to obviously keep an open mind. Approach the event with an open-minded spirit, a willingness to explore conversations, new adventures, new collaborations, new partnerships, and new connections with people. If you've always only sort of approached certain types of people or certain groups of people, then you may be cutting your nose off to spite your face. So I think it's important to keep an open mind. The second tip is to listen very actively. I've talked about this before. There's nothing more productive and important than listening effectively and attentively to what others are saying. More listening, less talking. So, it doesn't hurt, of course, to have a few small talk conversation starters. That's not going to impact on anything too much. But you want to be able to listen to conversations, listen in attentively, ask questions. You may pick up things that you hadn't anticipated, you hadn't thought of, that could lead you off in another direction completely. And that might be a great direction for you to go in. Who knows? It could result in some amazing collaborations and partnerships with other people. The next quick tip I give you is to ask open-ended questions. So remember, nothing cuts a conversation down more quickly than if you ask those rather closed questions. So that's questions that start with an are you or a do you, which invite really just a yes or no answer. You really should be asking the 5 W questions, the what, where, why, who, when, and that other little one that I throw in, which is how, which is a very, very important question. It'll just get that conversation flowing a little bit more. So, keep an open mind and listen and ask those open-ended questions. The last tip I give you today is about reading the room. Now, this comes into like walking in there without a plan is one thing, but you need to be a little bit savvy as well. Look around you, read the room, read the temperature in the room, in order to know, which direction you're going to go in next. Stay attuned to the atmosphere in the room and adjust your approach accordingly. I mentioned before that networking events are very fluid and very dynamic environments, and you need to be going with the flow and adapting and tweaking and pivoting and modifying as you go. Be very aware of people's non-verbals. We've talked before about how roughly 70% of what people communicate is through their body language. So you need to be very, very aware of that. If people are looking bored or uncomfortable, then it might be an idea to move on to the next group of people. So, you know what? It's been my experience at networking events that some of the most valuable connections and partnerships that I have made have really been through no planning on my part at all, believe it or not. They have occurred rather spontaneously, and that's brilliant if it does, because, it's really natural and authentic if it happens that way. So, look, while preparation is essential for most things we do in life, leave some room for spontaneity, because it can lead to some quite enriching experiences and opportunities that a rigid agenda won't allow for. Good luck.